Ever wonder what makes those engines roar?
Hmm.
Today we're diving deep into the world of motor vehicle engine testers,
Okay.
the people who really put the pedal to the metal.
Right.
Well, metaphorically, in the lab.
Yeah.
So whether you are maybe thinking about a career change or getting prepped for an interview or just love cars like me,
Uh,
we're going to break down all the skills and the challenges, the good and the bad, of this hands-on career.
okay.
And to make sure we're firing on all cylinders today, we've got some insights from RoleCatcher's guide
Sounds good.
to kind of steer us in the right direction.
Cool.
So what does a motor vehicle engine tester actually do? Forget those stereotypes. We're
Yeah.
not talking greasy garages here.
Right.
We're talking high-tech labs where you're working on everything from a diesel engine to electric motors.
Right.
It's really changing the game.
Yeah.
So imagine this. You walk into a lab and you see an engine mounted on a test stand.
Okay.
It's basically like a high-tech engine gym. You're using all these specialized tools and machinery, connecting it to sensors and computers.
Hmm.
And this is where things get really, really interesting.
It's like we're strapping a patient to an EKG,
Oh, wow.
except our patient is really a 1,000 horsepower beast.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And all those computerized systems, they let us simulate all kinds of driving conditions to
Uh.
measure everything from fuel consumption and emissions to temperature and horsepower. And here's the thing, all those numbers, they're not just data points. They're really the difference between a smooth ride and, breaking down on the side of the road.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Motor vehicle engine testers, we play a really important role in making sure that those vehicles are safe and reliable, that they actually perform the way they should.
It's a huge responsibility.
It is.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes that need for accurate data recording and analysis.
It's true.
And it sounds like you need a really unique blend of mechanical aptitude and also you got to be tech savvy.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's look at the big picture.
Okay.
RoleCatcher outlines both the pros and cons of this career path. So, on the plus side, job security. People are always going to need vehicles, right?
It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. And with electric vehicles, there's even more opportunity.
It's true, yeah.
A whole new wave of technology.
Yeah.
And there's definitely room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You can start as a lab technician. You can work your way up to supervising a team, maybe even get involved in the design process.
Yeah, you could go from just assisting to being a junior tester, doing your own tests, and troubleshooting, really building those skills.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like going from changing the oil to rebuilding a transmission.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. They talk about some of the challenges, too.
Right, right.
It's demanding physically.
Yeah.
You're on your feet all day.
Yeah.
You're handling heavy equipment.
Essentially exposed to some chemicals too.
Yeah. And then there's the deadlines
Yeah.
and the precision required.
Right. You can't really be sloppy. One little mistake.
Could be bad news, right?
Yeah. A misplaced decimal point could lead to like a massive recall.
Wow.
It's a lot of pressure,
Mhm.
but it's also what makes it rewarding.
I was going to say there's got to be an upside.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When you catch a problem early, help make those engines run better and cleaner.
That's got to feel good.
Huge sense of accomplishment.
So you're not just, building engines. You're kind of saving the planet, too.
In a way.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. It's not all altruism, right?
Yeah.
What about the people who just love to tinker?
Oh, absolutely. This field is perfect for that. It's mechanics, thermodynamics, even electronics and software now.
Wow, so it's really changing.
Oh, yeah, constantly evolving.
So how does someone even get started in a field like this?
Well, RoleCatcher talked a lot about hands-on experience.
Yeah, like even before you get a job.
Right. Internships are huge. Getting your foot in the door,
Yeah.
networking.
Networking, yeah. That's always important.
Definitely. Joining groups like SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers.
Okay.
Meeting people, learning about the industry.
Yeah, going a mentor almost.
Exactly.
So once you're ready to apply for jobs, how can RoleCatcher help with that?
Well, they have a ton of resources for interview prep. Like they have this huge database of practice questions.
Oh, wow. Like how many are we talking?
Over 120,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
Covers pretty much everything you could think of.
So it's one thing to read through those questions,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you actually practice answering them?
Right. Well, they have this really cool feature. It lets you record yourself answering questions.
Oh, wow. So you can see how you come across.
Exactly. It's like having your own personal replay booth.
That's really cool. And RoleCatcher even has this AI thing,
Oh, yeah.
RoleCatcher Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used that?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like having a coach, but, digital analyzes your answers and everything.
That's cool.
Helps you sound really polished.
So whether you're just starting out or you're thinking about a career change, RoleCatcher seems like a good place to start.
Definitely.
But we've covered a lot of ground today. Everything from how engines are tested to, tools and resources to get started. But before we go, I always like to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Right, some food for thought.
Exactly. So we talked about the engines we have now, combustion, electric. But what about the future?
Good question.
Like hydrogen fuel cells, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what skills will be needed. Will it be the same kind of testing or totally different?
Yeah, well, those motor vehicle engine testers of the future need, like, totally new skills.
Right, it makes you wonder.
So if you're out there listening, maybe you will be the one designing those engines of the future.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But one thing's for sure, those engines are going to need testing.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a thing or two. Until next time, keep those engines running. And remember, your next big career move might just be a deep dive away.